In this video, we are going to talk about Mars transit into the sign of Pisces through the nakshatra of Punarvasu, Uttarashada and Revati. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Pramanik Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic astrology. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one. And these videos will help you learn Vedic astrology step by step. Mars has entered into the sign of Pisces into the nakshatra of P.Bhadrapada on 18th of June. But on 23rd of June, this Mars will enter into the nakshatra of Bhadrapada. Purva and Uttara are the two feet, okay, and this is the Purva Bhadrapada is ruled by Jupiter, the Uttara Bhadrapada is ruled by Saturn, okay. So Uttara is higher and Bhadra is good, so Uttara Bhadrapada is the highest good, which we always talk about. Now we are going to put all our energy into that spiritual practice which is for our highest good. Mars has entered into the sign of Pisces into the nakshatra of Purva Bhadrapada on 18th of June. Next is Mars will transit through the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada into from the date June 24. Uttara Bhadrapada is ruled by Saturn, okay. Then it will go through the nakshatra of Revati, which is ruled by Mercury, from the July 16 till the end of the transit and till August 16, okay. So yes, Mars is the planet of energy, blood and all that aggression, competition, war, individualistic nature and the aggression. We have made a separate video on what is Mars. You can go and watch that. I'll put a link into the description section. But Mars is that fierce force of creation like Aries. It is that enthusiasm to create something, that fire, okay. And now it is coming into the sign of Pisces. What is the sign of Pisces? Pisces is the sign ruled by the Jupiter. It is water element sign and it is the sign of dual nature, okay. Now here we have to understand Mars is the planet of aggression and now it is coming into the sign which is ruled by duality. We'll talk about that later. Mars into the sign of Pisces is 12th to its own sign Aries, okay. So 12th house is always in relation to your ascendant, and here we are talking about the loss of the self, the loss of the identity, the loss of the ego. When we have Mars transiting through the sign of Pisces, one has to deal with the duality part of it. One is always frustrated with the duality in the material life and they always seek the quietude, or they like to be alone, and they seek spiritual practices. They put in their energies into the spiritual practices for their highest good and greatest growth. Mars feels frustrated due to the dual nature of the Pisces sign. Mars, if you look at the nature of the Mars, is a go-getter. He will simply decide what he is up to and will simply throw himself with the disciplined efforts to get his goal. Now it comes into the sign of Pisces in the transit. Now it feels that duality and it's like fire going deep down into the water. Now he feels like he has to tackle with the duality, which frustrates him. He wants to just start doing something like Aries. Now he's not able to do it. Now he has to think about it. Now he feels less driven. Now he feels that his aggression has, somewhat is calmed down. But on the negative side, this is also shows coldness, especially in the relationship where Mars is all about passion, now that passion has become the coldness due to the water element sign. We always talk about water element sign being emotional, but Mars cannot understand the dual nature, and so here he feels frustrated. Next, when this Mars is transiting through the sign of Pisces, through the nakshatra of P.Bhadrapada, there is a huge event happening in 21st of June 2020, which is a solar eclipse in the sign of Gemini. When Mars will enter into the sign of into the sign of Pisces, it will aspect the sign of Gemini with its fourth aspect. Now it is going to energize the sign of Gemini. Okay. Now, when a planet of energy is aspecting this, it is going to bring in that element of energy to this event. Okay. Now, look at the placement of Saturn. We have more than 4 planets retrograde during this eclipse. Saturn is retrograde, Venus is retrograde, and Mercury is retrograde. So these 3 planets are retrograde. Rahu and Ketu are always retrograde. Okay, so almost all the planets are retrograde. Saturn is in its own sign of Capricorn, and Jupiter is into the sign of debilitation into the Capricorn. Now, Saturn is aspecting the sign of Pisces, where Mars is placed in, where Mars is transiting with its third aspect, and now it is giving a sense of discipline, direction, and patience to this otherwise passionate energy. Okay, so here Mars becomes a spiritual warrior who has a patience to deal with the duality, to deal with things which he was otherwise get frustrated with. He just wants to get that done. Now he gets the patience of Saturn. Saturn is aspecting Mars. Mars is aspecting the Mercury, the lord of the Gemini, where all these things are happening. Now, the signs to look out for this transit are the sign of Gemini. Why? Because we have eclipse happening into the sign of Gemini. So we also have to look for the Sagittarius, because it always works in axis. It's a 3-9 axis. Okay, and next sign to look out for is the sign of Libra. Okay, we have Libra sign, and the next sign to look out for is the sign of Aquarius, wherein it's into the Papakartari. What is a Papakartari yoga? When we have 2 malefic planets adjacent to any house or any planet, we call it a Papakartari. There is also Shubhakartari, but we are talking about the Papakartari. Now the sign of Aquarius, if you look at the chart, you will see that Mars is into the sign of Pisces and Saturn is into the sign of Capricorn. So on the both side of the Aquarius, we have 2 malefic planets. Okay. Now, so if you have any important houses in the sign of Gemini or into the sign of Libra, you will feel certain kind of transformation during this time as well. Okay, so you also have to look for these 2 houses. Suppose you are Gemini ascendant, then it's happening right into your first house, or you are Virgo ascendant, it's happening into the 10th house, right? Or if you are Libra ascendant, then it's happening into the 5th house, but the Libra sign is also important. Or if you have Aquarius ascendant. So if you have any significant reference point like ascendant, 10th house, the Lagna Lord, the Amatya Karaka, Atma Karaka, any important signifying planet or point is into any of this sign, you will feel the transformation. You will feel the hit of the Mars. Okay, and this can be good thing as well. Okay, It can work either ways depending upon your own chart, depending upon what you have placed into the sign of Gemini, Aquarius. Where is your Jupiter? What is the transiting Jupiter going over your Jupiter, and so on. Okay, so don't just judge upon this transit with only this information. You will be misguided. Don't do that. Just create a perspective for yourself, like what exactly is happening and how you can understand it more, and then you can think of how you can tackle it. Okay, nothing to get scared of. So yes, this was Mars transit through the sign of Pisces, as much as I could hold grasp and share with you guys. If you want to dive deep into Vedic astrology, these two videos on your screen will help you to dive deep into Vedic astrology, sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.